So originally this video was supposed to be an overall review on Win or Lose and an analysis on every single episode, but the video ended up being an hour long, and for the sake of my sanity, I was not going to edit that, so I decided to split it up in 2 parts. So this is part 1. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm announcing Win or Lose, except everyone is losing. Anyway, Win or Lose is Pixar's first TV show, and is about a softball team that is heading towards their championship games, and it looks at the people's point of view / life up until that point. So almost every single episode starts at the regionals games, the game that determines if they're going to championships or not. And after they win their regionals game, we follow one character per episode as they deal with the problems in their life up until that moment. And the show focuses on 8 characters: Lorie, Frank, the ref, Rochelle, Ira, Yuen, Vanessa, Rochelle's mom, Kai, and the coach. Now, in each episode, we see how they view certain things and how they perceive it and take it in. For example, after they win their regional games, every single person perceives the coach's speech differently due to what they're feeling and they're dealing with at the moment. The kid that I just said, Ira, aka the kid who's hanging around freaking high schoolers, he perceives the coach as saying blah 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 blah, while Lorie perceives it as a really big inspirational speech that her dad is giving out to the rest of the team. Now I'm going to do this video in analysis format like I usually do, and I'm going to be talking about each and every single episode and my thoughts about it. The first episode, aka the first character that we see, is Lorie. Lorie is the coach's daughter, and she's also the weakest on this team. This causes her to be insecure about the upcoming game, and she gains a blob called Sweaty. Now, this episode, it focuses on Lorie's fear of the upcoming game because she feels like she's not good enough to be on the team, and she constantly deals with anxiety or social anxiety, I'm pretty sure. What I got from okay, like I said, she gains a blob called, what's his fake name? Not smelly, bitch. Sweaty. And it's basically your thoughts. It's basically Lorie's overthinking, negative thoughts. Oh, I'm not good enough. I have to work really, really hard. I can't be the weakest member of the team. She has all these negative thoughts, and she obviously makes a lot of mistakes because you being weak in a certain area and you trying to improve on that, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. So all those negative thoughts, constantly thinking about your mistakes, it can do something to your mind. And I liked how they portrayed that in a way as this big blob hanging over your shoulder saying oh, what if this happened, and what if blah blah blah, and oh, remember when you did this, and blah 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 blah, or what if this happens, what are you gonna do about that? I relate to that so much. I get those all the time. I've been getting those since middle school, and let me tell you, having some big ass blob on your shoulder, well, I don't have a blob on my shoulder obviously, but having those thoughts are so draining. And I loved to see that in Lorie because when I first watched the episode, I'm like, damn, I really relate to this girl. I loved her so much, and her being ugh. And also her thinking so negatively about herself, but in everyone else's perspective, she's viewed in this positive light, and her being really hard working, and her being nice to her friends. It melts my heart because you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are not your reality. I don't know if I already said this. I don't think I have, but I'll say it again for the people in the back. You are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are not your reality. Literally, and everyone, I think I just said this, everyone else's perspective, she's viewed as such a nice person, and it's so sad that she views herself so badly, but it's so relatable because I feel a lot of times we think we're worse than we are, and we think so negatively about ourselves, when in reality that's not even true. In Lorie's episode, when she's practicing because she's a batter or whatever, in her episode she misses almost every single ball except for 2, while in a later episode there's only a few balls next to her. She hits a lot of them. So I feel that's just another reason of your thoughts are not true, and that you're so much better than you actually think you are. And Also, that's like I just loved how it's portrayed, but them portraying it as like a blob on on her shoulder is so accurate because it feels like this annoying voice in your head. Like these negative thoughts get so annoying, and like I wish like I could stop them. Like me personally, I wish I could stop them, but like they've gotten to a point where they're just so automatically like happens, and sometimes you just can't stop because it's like I call it a spiral. So like you could have one and then like another one comes and it's like this little like tornado and like you're spiraling to this really deep point and like every single time like I talk to like a counselor about it, they're like, what in the world spiraling? But like it's like a like mini tornado and it loops around once over the thought and then like it keeps like looping until you go down to this whole spiraling terminology. Sorry, but I loved her episode so much, and also like it feels like those thoughts are like weighing over your shoulder, and literally towards the end of the episode, like the blob is this big ass like blob that's like that has consumed her, and the only way that like it goes away or like it goes back to this tiny little thing is her getting the reassurance that she needed, that is like, oh, you're not bad, just try your best and like don't put so much like pressure on yourself because like you're not thinking you're like because you're thinking you're worse than you are when in reality you're not. And I feel like a lot of times like we don't know that like people are going through this, like everyone else doesn't know that Lori's like having these bad like overthinking thoughts. Like they can tell that she's down, but they don't know that she's thinking these negative thoughts. They don't know that there's a big ass blob like in her, oh my bad, there's a big blob behind her like consuming her. Like no one knows that, and I just like it because like it's like that one little small encouragement can be like such a big thing. It can mean so much to a person that's struggling, and it just meant a lot. Okay. Anyway, next up, Frank. Now, Frank is the ref for the team, or like the softball ref overall. I don't know if like softball teams have their own refs or whatever, but I don't think they do. But like Frank is known to be like the ref for the thing, and he means no business. He is straightforward. He's like, it better be da 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 or no. Like he gives his like students a test, and he's like, because he's also a teacher, and he's like, oh no, you better do this, and no cheating, blah blah blah. You know those teachers that have like a bajillion rules, and like you have to put your phone in the little caddy, and then like they hang over you, or and then they sit at your desk looking at you, looking at the whole entire classroom intensely, or even worse, they're walking around the room while you're taking a test. Ooh, and also they always end up walking around the room when you don't end up studying and you're playing on cheating because you think, oh, they're just gonna be sitting at their desk. Nope, they start roaming around. Woo! Okay, sidetracked. Also, him being the ref means obviously he's the ref. He has to mean like no business, straightforward, obviously. And usually he's able to ignore other people's opinions because, you know, if like their kid lost their little like game because they messed up or whatever, they're like the parents are gonna get mad about it, and they always be blaming the ref. You know, that's in all sports and stuff. And he's like, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. And he puts on this suit of armor that, like, protects him from all, like, the blows and insults that he gets. But he can ignore, like, he's not like this in his personal life, you know? In his personal life, Mr. Frank's low-key boring. He don't got no love life. He fumbled. And now he's, like, all depressed. And he's just sad. And the episode follows him as he tries to lay his guard down because he often ruins stuff for him because he doesn't want to get hurt, which is once again so relatable. I struggle with opening up about things. It's just only like this like school year and like this like not like 2025, but like last year that I really started opening up to people and telling my feelings, because opening up low-key sucks. Okay, it doesn't suck. It's just it's so hard to do because you don't want to get hurt, or you're scared of like something bad happening, and like you're scared to like let people in because you don't want them to know about that part of your life, or you don't want them to see that part of you. And that, I think Frank deals with the I don't want them to see this part of me like more per se, because he had a girlfriend, right? And the girlfriend's like, what if we get married? And he's like, he wants to, but he's scared, and he ends up rejecting her and saying, no, like we should break up, like blah blah. And he doesn't explain why. And like he's just so scared because he's scared he's going to lose his armor, and he's not going to protect himself if he does get hurt, which is So relatable. And we follow him through the episode as he slowly lets his guard down, and he slowly like gets the realization that like, hey, letting my guard down isn't this so bad. And when I finally start being my true self and opening myself up and showing who I really am, I can find someone. And he found like he's on this dating app. Like he finds like this journey is basically through a dating app because he wants a husband, not a husband, a girlfriend. And literally, he is talking to this one girl, and they get to the final stage where they're going to meet in person. And literally, Frank realizes that he is still in love with his ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, and he's like, I'm not scared anymore. I'm not scared of opening up. I'm not scared of speaking what's on my mind, or like standing like up, or like admitting my true feelings. And he runs through the hallway in this big dramatic sequence. He's saying hi to everyone. Everyone's cheering him on. The janitor that helped him get this dating app is cheering him on. He goes to the classroom of his ex-lover, and guess what she says? Like he sees it and he hears it, but she doesn't know that she sees that, but she doesn't know that he's hearing and seeing all this stuff. And she says, guess what, I'm engaged. Heartbroken, shattered stuff. And he has a championship game that he has to rough, and he's busy. And I forgot how the episode ends exactly, but I'm pretty sure it just ends around there. And I'm just watching it like, when he fought, like, that's just so crazy to me. Like, that would actually be my 13th reason. That would be my reason to crash out. He crashes out in the last episode, and I don't blame him, because I would be mad if I had this one option, an amazing option. This guy was going to be my man, but I realized that I'm not over my other man, and I go up and I run just for him to say, oh, me and my girl, or post something about him and his new girl that he got. Trust, sobbing, crashing out, breaking, fighting. Who? Literally, I see someone on the street. What's up? JK. But like, I would be so mad, and I feel so bad for Frank, because like he finally opened up his heart, and like he got crushed. But like it's important, because like, yes, you're gonna get crushed even if you open up your like heart and whatever. But I feel like he shouldn't be totally 100% crushed, because yeah, he opened up his heart and wasn't afraid to say what's on his mind and his feelings anymore. But like he got crushed over it. But it just shows that like, if I do, it isn't the end of the world, because literally, if even though one girl like is now, my ex-girl is now engaged, it like the other girl that I was talking to shows that, okay, if I open up my heart, like, I will find someone. And I feel like that's just so important. And I don't know, I just love Frank. I was watching Frank's episode, and just like Lorie's, I was like, damn, I relate to this too much. Okay, anyway, the next one is Rochelle. I don't really relate to any of Rochelle's problems, but her personality is very close to mine. I feel like, I don't know, I just saw Rochelle, and I'm like, I feel like I act that way so much, especially in middle school. Like, the kids are middle schoolers, and I'm like, yeah, in middle school. Actually, no, not in middle school, because in middle school, that's when shit went wonky. Anyway, but I feel like now that's definitely how my personality was in like not early elementary, early middle school. That is what it was. Oh my god, like I feel like early middle school, and like now I feel like I relate a lot to like Rochelle's personality. I feel like I'm also like very outgoing. Well, people say I am. I don't know. Anyway, so that's why she became my automatically fave. Also, light skin queens. Okay. But I don't know. I just loved Rochelle's. I loved her energy. But Rochelle lives with her mom and her brother. She comes from a one income house family, and money is tight. She does anything she can to raise money. She shares her homework answers, sells concessions, and she ends up selling her new cleats at this high school party, but she almost gets kidnapped in the process. Now, over this, like, I skipped a lot of this episode, not because I did not like Rochelle. I just said how much I like her, but because this is where we first meet Ash Trevino mom. I'll get more into Ash Trevino mom later. But like, she was pissing me off, and when I see characters that piss me off, I use that skip button. I abuse that 10 seconds forward, okay? I don't know if you can hear that, but that was me spamming my little paper. But like I abuse that 10 seconds thing. Basically, her mom is a social media mom, and a lot of times she feels like she has to be the one to like parent because her mom like is struggling with like a job, and her mom is so busy on social media that she like doesn't really have any time on like Rochelle, or like she doesn't really focus on Rochelle. I mean, she focuses on her, but she doesn't neglect her, but she neglects her. You know what I mean? Like emotionally low key, and like this causes like a low key kind of a drift. And I also really did like Rochelle because I feel like Rochelle, like she would probably be relatable to a lot of older siblings because I'm not an older sibling. I'm an only child, but like I used to hang out with my like with like my childhood friends. I'm just gonna call them that. And like one of them was an older sibling, right? Like there were four of them, and literally like she was I oh god bless her heart because she had to take care of like her three siblings and me and like other people too. She was in charge of anything. If we like caused like a mess or something, she would get blamed for it. She was basically like a second parent, like a third parent, and I just like felt so bad because oh my god, like some of the stuff that she had to like deal with because she was like the oldest was so bad. Like we would do something and she would be the only one to get blamed for it. It was so bad. Like it wasn't like I don't know. I just feel so bad. Like looking back at it now, I'm like I don't know how she even survived. Like oh my god. Like I just feel so bad, and I feel bad for any older sibling because like I don't know how y'all do it. So I feel like Rochelle is definitely relatable in that essence.
I want to add on a little bit more because I realized I didn't really talk about it. But when I said that she was relatable to older siblings, I meant in the sense that she had to take care of everything in the house. She wasn't responsible of her younger brother, the bills of like softball team, her personal well-being, and also her mom, and plus school on top of that. And that is like very relatable to older siblings from like what I just said, my childhood friend. So that's what I like meant in like she was relatable to older siblings. I just didn't really explain that well because I went on my like mini rant about like my personal experience. But that's what I meant by like older sibling experience.
But one part of her problems that I did relate to was her stress. When she was feeling really stressed out, it felt like her world was coming apart. So she was floating, books were like flying out everywhere. And I feel like that's one, again, so relatable because when like you're stressed out, it feels like your world's like ending. Like if you are heavily like stressed out, like it feels like your mind is going like 100 miles per hour. Everything's like falling apart. And literally like in the episode, she's raising money for like the next season, and they literally raised the dues from like 600 to 1,000, which first of all is crazy to me. Like dues for sports is so crazy to me. Sorry, I just like got quiet. Like it's so crazy to me. And she's like and she like is trying to find money, and she's doing like all this stuff because her mom like isn't like available. And it's just like a weird relationship that she has with her mom because what do you mean like you're a content creator but you're not making enough money to pay for your cousins? Like it just does not make sense to me. And that's how she almost gets kidnapped because she's trying to sell these new cleats, and if she sells these new cleats that she gets, literally like she would be able to play for next season. And then the girl almost gets kidnapped because she realizes that these high schoolers are mad sketchy, and when she says no, they start running after her. Like, what the hell? And the episode literally ends with her at a busted up gas station because her mom secretly took her phone. I'll talk about that later again. Her mom secretly takes her phone, and literally like she's stranded at this place, and her mom's always busy AF. Because in her perspective, it's like her mom does not care because they also got into a fight that episode. Like, their relationship whack. But she, in her mind, she's like, oh, her like mom doesn't like care and whatever. And like the one moment that she actually genuinely needs her mom isn't there. And like the episode ends with her like feeling like sad. And honestly, yeah, I low key relate to the weird relationship with mom because sometimes like you know like your parent loves you, but like at the same time like they just do stuff that is like, why would you do that? And like I just get it because like why in the world like would you do this when I know I have this, or like blah blah blah. It's just so crazy to me, and I just relate to Rochelle. Any other siblings out there, I feel for you. Anyway, next up is Vanessa. Um, on TikTok, I saw a clip of Vanessa, And she was literally the reason why I'm like, okay, maybe I should actually look into this show, because literally, like, I will try to find the TikTok, but the TikTok was literally Astravito Core, and it was Nessa in the back, because I think the episode like starts off with her like being oh so sad, and she goes on like her little she goes on fucking Instagram live or TikTok live or whatever type of live they got on in their little TV show. It's like, sorry fans, this is a really like such a rough day and blah 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 blah. Life as a single mother, and everyone, and like literally like the like in the episode, like she gets like, you know, like the like button obviously is a heart, and a bunch of hearts just fill her, people saying, oh, it's okay, like blah blah, I feel for you and blah blah. And honestly, I really like that we're looking into like more of the social media thing, because I feel like a lot of time in like how like when we see TV shows that incorporate like social media, because trying to be up with the trends. Oh my god, I'm losing my mind. Like they're trying to be up with the trends, and it ends up being very corny. I liked how like vain it was. Okay, it wasn't vain. Like I don't know the word. How like broad it was, because like it wasn't like you. Okay, if you were watching it, you could easily tell like it was supposed to be like a parody on like TikTok, Instagram Live, but like it could also just be like a parody on like social media in general. And I just loved it because it didn't come off as corny or them trying to be like up with the like trends or something. It was them showing like a genuine perspective, which I like, because social media influencers, especially like mom family like mothers, are like really popular now. And we've also seen like so many like documentaries and stories about like how like damaging, not like how damaging it is, but like I think there was like a documentary on like 8 Passengers Family's channel, and there's a documentary about like Piper Raquel's mom like coming up and like the people that she's hurt. So yeah, I like the take on their social media, but I also like how they didn't portray it in a positive light, because and like it obviously does affect people in her life. Like to Vanessa, it's like a positive like effect on her life. It's like her version of like, not her version, her way of it escaping her reality. But for Rochelle, it's like very annoying, because it seems like her mom is only focused on that her mom only cares about social media, when in reality Vanessa's doing this not but like in reality Vanessa's very stressed. She just lost her job because her kid, also the way she lost her job in the show was so dumb. She lost her job at a fucking supermarket because this 14-year-old guy said, oh, I'm gonna fire you if you go pick up your kid who just got expelled. Hello, like kids come first. Hello, like the freak. Anyway, it was, and like also she generally tries to like be there for her family and stuff, even though she does shove the camera in Rochelle's face, which is very influencer mom, which isn't good. I'm like, but it's good that they show that, because all influencer moms are like that. All Most of them are now. Like they just love shoving that camera in their kid's face, knowing damn well they don't want to be on camera. Anyway, that's why we got so many documentaries. No hating, no hating, no hating. No hating on the victims. I'm hating on the mothers. Anyway. Anyway. Like we actually see her try to like work so hard for her family. Like she is a Lyft driver. She literally is working. She was trying to find a job. Like remember when I said that she lied to Rochelle about like her job or whatever, her getting fired? She lied to Rochelle saying that she quits to focus on social media, when in reality she lied, and she goes searching for a job, going up, down, left, right, center, and she finally gets a job. She's finally like working to make money, and she's like such a bad communicator, because she's thinking that she doesn't have to worry about Rochelle because she raised her like right, which she did, but Rochelle ends up cheating, and she's like, and that's when she loses her trust. And like honestly, the whole Rochelle getting stranded at a thing could have been easily resolved if she didn't get like a if she didn't like if she actually just communicated with her. Like Rochelle is obviously very stressed, and Vanessa fails to see that because she is like worried about her content and her own job and stuff. And it really like shows a light on like mothers who like don't have a second income in their house, or a single parent. And I like that, because I'm also a child of a single parent, and I see my mom like working so hard. Like yeah, I have sympathy for like those moms. Anyway, I liked how she was portrayed. It was very nice. They do show like bad communication and like how Rochelle and like how she thought Rochelle was like when she found out Rochelle was cheating and she thought that Rochelle was at a party with a high school boy. She does go and like save Rochelle. And she does go looking for Rochelle, which is like nice, but I just wish she like would work on her communication. But I like this episode. It was a new take. It was a new take on like social media mom thing, and I liked how they brought in like a thing that's getting not modernized, a thing that's becoming so normalized, and they're like putting a light on it. It's nice. I like it.